What up, peoples? This your boy Unit. I'm here with my man DW for Import Heads, and we're here to talk about Final Fantasy 12, the Japanese version. So, DW, what was your first impressions of this game?
Beautiful game, beautiful looking, beautiful sounding. The game is just beautiful. I mean, if anybody's into Final Fantasy, plays any types of incarnation of Final Fantasy, your first impression will be that, wow, this game is definitely above all the rest.
What can we expect from this game?
Well, one thing you can expect is the new battle system, of course. I mean, in terms of the old system, they've kept active battle still there. You can make the battle system harder by having your enemies move faster, casting magic faster. There's a new power-up system. That's probably why I probably won't give it a perfect score, is because now you have to buy all your moves, your abilities, and your weapons. So you can't purchase like an item and just use it right away. You have to actually buy the item and buy the skill. So that becomes a little annoying, but still the game is great. I mean, minus that little hindrance of getting extra money. Now, it's still good.
Now, I've been reading about this game, and I noticed they took like a different approach to the battle system. It's more on the lines of Final Fantasy 11, the online, the online version where you actually see the character running around on screen and the enemy ahead of you, and you can then attack them whenever you want.
That would be a more interactive. I actually like that system, and I hate to say that I didn't get a chance to sit down in Final Fantasy 11. So if there's any people out there who haven't played Final Fantasy 11, you'll get a really good idea of what that was like. There's no more random just popping up, characters coming out of nowhere, and you have to fight continually. There is some type of respawning system for the game, but it's not like the other systems at all. It's very fresh. You get to see all the enemies coming at you. I know what you're thinking. If you played Final Fantasy 11, that sounds a little boring, but believe it or not, the enemies in this game are very challenging. The AI puts up a fight, and you start off at the very bottom ranks, kind of like Final Fantasy 11. You really have to work your way up, to get skills, abilities, and put yourself in a higher rank.
All right. Now, for those of you that haven't played Final Fantasy 11, how is it like if you say you see the enemy ahead of you and like you attack it and you run away? Can you actually like run away from attacking?
There is an escaping feature that does not work all the time. You can run away from an enemy, but when you have enemies who are like a lot bigger than you or stronger than you or at a higher level, they actually move faster. So even using the escaping feature has a little bit of a challenge to it, so that adds to the gameplay. I hate to say this, but I died in the first hour of the game. I never died in the first hour of Final Fantasy, and I was dying. So it was a good challenge. So if you like a challenge in a game, that will be a little bit of a challenge for you at first, and you realize, wow, I really need to fight more. I really need to build up my stats. I really need to work at the game.
All right. So what about players that are new to the Final Fantasy franchise? Will they get attached? Will they like this one? Will they actually like this version?
See, that's a tough question for me. I have played every incarnation of it, including the import Japanese 1 and 2. So, I mean, for a new player, I think they'll like the quickness of the battle system. I know that a lot of my friends who never gave Final Fantasy a chance, they didn't give it a chance because they didn't like turn-based system. This system's a lot more active. The battles are quick. They're a lot more exciting. I mean, even the enemies, put up a very interesting fight, and you'd think that it would be different because, the enemies are all laid out on this full three-dimensional board, and you're interacting with them. But it's great because, for someone who doesn't like that boring turn-based system waiting for a line, you still have to wait for this line in this one. but it's still more active where you could actually switch with characters on the fly. You could cast magic and forget about a character, switch to somebody else. So it's more fun in that sense. So for somebody who's never played Final Fantasy, they might view that as exciting and figure, okay, let me give it a chance. And maybe they might even end up playing the older titles just to see what it was all about. I think it's a good idea. Yeah,
it sounds good. Yeah. Music, as you stated earlier, was very beautiful, and you said it played a big part in this game. Can you elaborate a little more on why?
I like the music in this one because, one, it reminds me of Vagrant Story. It has the same type of whistles and bells in terms of listening to your background. Each area is very specific. It has a very good vibe and a very good mood. I, for one, I'm a big fan of the music in Final Fantasy. I happen to have every album, collected away. And I think that this one is an improvement on all the other ones they've made, like in comparison to 10, which is so specific. A lot of people found 10, the soundtrack for 10, a little bit depressing, but it fit the story. It was a love story. This is more adventurous. The music here is more adventurous, a little bit more. It has a lot of dark tones in it. So if you're into music and you're into that type of thing, you'll definitely feel it.
So what is your final overall on Final Fantasy 12, Japanese version?
Okay, let me start by saying that I took a day off from work after I got my hands on it.
I guess you liked it.
The game is definitely worth the wait. I think all of you here at TrueGameHeadz and all the fans out there are going to love it. It's definitely something worth looking forward to because, you have a brand new system. In terms of using magic, abilities, and items. You also have a new type of battle system to deal with, and the characters are great. I definitely enjoy the story, even though it tends to be a little bit political at times. But I think it'll go with a lot of fans. It's definitely been in the works. A lot of people are waiting for it. So that alone will make you want it.
Hurry up with the U.S. version, please.
So that alone will make you want it. So I think the game is great. I mean, I already told you, if I had to give it a score, it'll get my top score.
All right. That's what's up, and that's my boy DW with the import review of Final Fantasy 12.